Greetings guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Monette and this is my channel Evolve with Monette. For those of you that are new here, I'm a professional intuitive empath and today we're going to talk about one Onika Minaj Petty. Yes, we're going to talk about the weight of a karmic partner. For my empaths and my intuitives here, what you need to know is this. You have seen this happen before. What has happened with our good sis, Nicki Minaj, whether you like her or you don't, I'm going to break down the pathology of a karmic partner so that if this is something you've experienced, that hopefully someday it's something that you won't, or you can extract yourself out of it. When Nicki Minaj got with Kenneth Petty, of which I know many Barbs don't even like, but they support Mother, so they will support her day and night. And if the Barbs end up in my comments, I love you guys. And I love Nicki. I think Nicki's cadence, her style, her rap is amazing. Nikki, as a Sagittarius woman, has a hard time learning lessons though. What I notice as a practitioner, that means I do readings, that means I work with people's energy, that means I take deep looks and that soul raven deep dives into the future and to what I see. But I also assess issues going on with my clients from day to day about how they get in their own way. And Barb or no Barb, Nikki has a propensity to get in her own way, which is very much associated with Sagittarian traits, meaning that Sagittarian energy, when not evolved, as we all go through various levels of evolution, okay, our north node, our south node, when we are on our righteous path or not, but when not evolved, they will beat their head against the same brick wall over and over and over and over again, meaning make the same mistakes. They don't really necessarily learn from other people's lessons or even their own. They almost have to be kind of bloodied, figuratively speaking, before they take their ball and go home. And that's what happens with Nikki, that Sagittarian ability to speak, known as the archer in the archetype. They shoot and they never miss. It's always a bullseye, sis. But they are known for their acerbic tongue and their bluntness. Yeah, does that sound like Mother? Does that sound like Miss Nicki Minaj Petty? It sounds like that to me. And she does it so brilliantly now that it's almost an art form. I wouldn't say almost, it is. If you watched her stream with Kai Cenat when her recent newest album came out and she was on there with Kai Cenat, who is a streamer, the shade that she gave Kai was just so perfect, and then she was really warm and effusive, like any fire sign can be, charismatic right down to a T. That is one Nikki, and that's why we love Nikki. I also love Nikki because I respect skill, and I'm just gonna say, sometimes I listen to some of these other girls and I'm like, it's not the Nikki kind of way, but maybe it's just also what I grew up with hearing her, and that's just what I'm used to. But I'm talking about a cadence and an ability and a deftness. She's truly talented. The issue is, you know, one of the things that comes up to me, I hear in her song, she says it's corporate giants and that want to end me. It's corporate giants and you know, like powers that be that want to end me. She's like, I'm offended if when you girls think I'm your op. The ops are much bigger. The optics are not what they seem. She's very right. It's not that just she's being petty and immature. Her husband's namesake, she is actually right. She has a lot of stuff going against her, and that's why she's never got that Grammy. She should have had several, a handful, like this, a cradle, just like Taylor, just like Beyonce. She should have had a handful of those Grammys by now, and now they're giving them to all these new girls. And it's not to say that they're not talented in their own right, but it is to say that Nikki does not have it because of spite. I didn't even think I was this much of a bar, but I'm just going to say what it is. That's just the truth. It is spiteful. That's why. Now, it's because Nikki will go up against a power that be, and then she forgets that they will punish her infinitesimally, which is exactly what has happened here. Let's get to her karmic partner and why this has tanked her career. It doesn't mean she's still not selling or making music or isn't amazing. She is all of those things. But an alignment to a karmic partner will always cause you to lose. I don't care if she met him when she was 15, 16. You were 15 going on 16. I don't care. I don't care if she believed he loved me before I had money. I don't care about the story. I know he fought somebody over her. Y'all, I'm up to date. I do my research. But what I'm going to tell you is this. The issue with Petty is that his karmic energy is negative. I don't give a damn. Nikki, you can come on here and say you hate me, but my good sis, I dare you to examine the truth that is right in front of you. I dare you to take off the Sagittarian stubbornness and put on the professorial higher vibration of Sagittarian, the philosopher side of this, and really look at what's going on with this situation. It is the father of Nikki's child. She's never going to just say, I'm getting rid of him and I hate him. Of course not. That would be so hard. Her heart is invested. And oh my God, look at that child. That Papa Bear is so bloody cute. Papa Bear is such a chunk of muck of magic. I am obsessed myself. You know what I even love about Nikki is that she teaches us with her words how to manifest. And she's always manifested with her words. And I remember her sitting on Ellen and describing exactly what kind of child she wanted. She said, I want a fat baby with fat cheeks and chunky boy. Like, she called in Papa Bear. And that's why I want Nikki to call in the next best years of her career, because she's always been that powerful. She can have anything that she wants in front of her, and often does. She's created an incredible fairy tale life to come from being a waitress at Red Lobster to rapping and being so bright, such a bright light. But she is her own worst enemy, and if she's not fighting herself, then she's always fighting the good fight on behalf of a spouse that is doing something else, which is not being in alignment with her. We all want our back blown out. We all want love. We all want someone that cares about us, that's in our corner, that'll stand up to the bullies for us. Nikki has often had to be alpha. She is an alpha energy, an alpha woman. She traffics in a lot of masculine energy. That's why she makes the money she makes. That's why she moves the way she moves, even though she's absolutely beautiful and feminine. If you understand, as an empath watching this, you get what I'm saying about masculine and feminine energy. With that masculine energy, she is able to procure and secure and get and have and be and own. She's the boss. But when she gets home, any alpha woman will tell you they want someone with whom can take control of the situation, whatever that may be. And so I think that's part of her attraction to Mr. Kenneth Petty. The issue with it is Kenneth's energy is of a low vibration. And it's not debatable. We all know his situation. Recently, when Nicki Minaj got into the beef with Megan Thee Stallion, is because Megan put one line in her song and says, you're not mad at Megan, you're mad at Megan's Law. Megan's Law is a law that was enacted where all SA sexual predators had to, sexual assaulters or predators had to report to wherever, you know, like the powers that be in their town, so that they could be known that they're living, so that you could know that you had someone that had this history living around you. And this is part of, unfortunately, this is part of the issue, is because that is something, even though Nikki's worked on getting it expunged and allegedly bullied the girl, even though they said they didn't, and whatever, the girl says she's running for her life, so I don't know. There's all the sides to the story. But the issue is that whatever his past was, even if it was a misunderstanding or if he's absolutely guilty, it is now attached to Nikki. And here's the thing, you're not exempt from this, and this is why these celebrities sign up in a way for these lessons to be teachers, so that we can learn from it. So on the big screen, this plays out in a big way, and what you're seeing here is that if you want to be involved in a connection with someone, then you could probably end up having to pay. And it could be as simple as, you could be working at, let's say you're working at Target, both of y'all working at Target, y'all was stocking the shelves, you met, but he has this really bad connection with his like mom or his dad, and whatever the case may be, and you're trying to save him, but you can't ever save anybody. They have to want to work, they have to want to bring themselves up, otherwise they will pull you down. Recently I saw a very good example of this regarding, it's not pertaining to Nikki, but it made me think of Nikki, and it's the reason that I'm doing this video about her specifically. It's a YouTuber here, Yanni, Real Talk with Yanni. She used to be Yanni Red. If you guys know, she has a couple 100,000 subscribers, maybe more. She's a fantastic, just kind of conversationalist, and she talks about things that are happening in the dating world and whatever else. She did a video where she was playing essentially duetting a video where someone was talking about, I'm dating a guy. I think this is probably in the last month, so if you go to her channel, you'll see it. I think the girl looks like she might be Spanish. Her hair's kind of pulled back in a ponytail in the thumbnail. But she's like, I'm dating a guy and he's broke. And she's like, I don't understand, but like, he can't get up on his good foot. Hilariously to Nikki, get up on your good foot. He can't get up on his good foot. And I keep trying to like feed into him, and I keep trying to help him. But now like I'm going broke, and like my energy's off, and my everything's off. My pH H's off. And I thought, this is so powerful. If more women understood it's just that simple for you to be attached to someone that's no good, and it's insidious. And what that means is it happens slowly and you don't notice. It's not like a big bludgeon over the head, like, oh my God, you're with a terrible, toxic person and now everything in your life is going badly. It happens a little bit at a time. And then one day you wake up and you're losing. So the top three things that I notice in a karmic relationship are: you will lose money, you will lose your sanity, or you will lose your health. Those three things will happen in no short order and in no particular order, but one or three or all will happen to you where you are no longer the person that you used to be. Now, what we saw happen with Nikki as she had her beef with Megan, and she was livid because Megan hit her in a place that's very particular to her. And I have a lot of feelings about Nikki and family pathology and what she's working out regarding being around people that have this in their history, because we know that her brother Jelani as well dealt with this, and I think is even serving at some time right now behind SA as well. What I'm going to tell you guys is this is something that Nikki has to work out. She, you know, we all get called to like end generational curses, and this is the generational curse that Nikki's being literally, it's almost like the monkey on her back from her family lineage. We all have something. Maybe your mom was given up for adoption and then she gave you up for adoption, and then you find yourself in the most strange predicament. How am I here? Maybe wanting to give my kid up for adoption. That's what I mean. That's a family pathology that you can see that it affected this person and this person and this person, and now I'm the one who has to break the generational curse of it. I believe that the SA and being in that energy is something that Nikki is supposed to break while she's here. I believe she's powerful enough to break it, but I believe it would be something that would break her heart, and I believe it is something that has broken her heart. When I'm tapping into her energy, and I'm not doing a reading on Nikki, I always feel like you should have full permission from somebody to do a reading on them, but what I'm going to tell you is just what I feel is that Nikki struggles with this, allegedly. That's just my own perception, and specifically with that brother, allegedly, if you understand what I'm saying. And I believe that God keeps bringing this to her as an area of cleansing. However, whatever happened with her husband currently in his past, you know, away from Nikki, to me is on Nikki's energy. If you're a Barb and you love Nikki, you can definitely see some shifts. Does she feel loved? Does she love him? Is she in love with him? Certainly. But when we are attached to a partner that has toxicity in their vibration, it will affect us, and money will not start to look right. I remember reading someone that was like fighting with Nikki a few weeks ago when all that was really kind of popping off, and he was talking about her money and you're broke and you're this and you're that. I thought, Nikki broke? Does that even make sense? Is that even a possibility? Is that even real? But whether or not it is real, I don't know that lady's business. But what I'm going to tell you is this: whatever is happening is as a direct result of her attachment to him. I'm not saying it's all his fault. Nikki definitely has her own mouth. She can take responsibility. She has that acerbic tongue. She also can be a sweetheart too, as we've all seen. So there's duality to us all. We can all be heaven, hell, or the dream. It just depends. But I am looking at it like I would look at it when one of my clients calls me and is like, I just can't figure out why I can't like get up on my good foot regarding my life. Well, they're attached to a karmic partner. Check your bank account, check your sanity account, check your health account. I promise you, you will start to see losses and not gains when you're with someone who is toxic and karmic to you. And what karmic people do, even if they are unaware of it, is they attach to you, siphon off your energy, and then they level up themselves. Sometimes they will level themselves up. Empath, I see some empaths nodding in the comments right now, nodding at home watching right now, nodding as you're looking at your phone right now. Some of them will attach to you, get so leveled up that they are now like mushing you in the head, like, get away from me. Oh, my life is so amazing. I'm rich now. I have this now. I did this. They literally don't even want to give you credit for it. And it's not to say they have to like bow down and kiss the ring, but it is to say, but they start to even forget that it's your energy that up-leveled them and that is your access. Now, in Nikki's case, the reason I say that celebrities sign up to teach us this lesson or these lessons is that we can see it on a grand scale. What a come up for this dude. Even if he didn't have that on his record, what a come up for this dude named Petty in the namesake. But this is why I say this is going to be one of the hardest lessons for Nikki, because it is her child's father and she is in love with her child. And I believe she is in love with this man. Is Nikki strong? Have we seen Nikki break yokes off of her and escape from tyranny and oppression before? Absolutely. But this is where it's complicated, because this is all interlaced and interwoven with the greatest love of her life, which is her child. And so in order for Nikki to walk away from this man, for whatever reason he may give her, and just like Safari gave her reasons, he will give her reasons too. But that's what we do. Listen, do you want to stay in a marriage or not? This is a grown-up decision that we all have to make. Marriages are not easy, for goodness sake, for any of us, whether you have multi-millions or none, okay? But what I'm going to tell you is this: the challenge for Nikki is going to be, can she continue to exist and separate? The second she leaves Petty, her star, her energy, her accolades will all grow. Nikki still gets her things though. We got to bring the queen her things because she earns them. Like, she was #1 and she was trending and she was like, that's Nikki. She's always going to be Nikki. But there is more for her in store. And what God will do, it's really interesting, is sometimes God will hold back some of the greatest gifts, some of the greatest rewards, and some of the greatest accolades from you, because she specifically, however you see it, does not want you to have it when you were in the proximity of a grifter, a taker, or a low vibrational partner. So you will never ascend to the heights you were meant to ascend to. You will never get all those Grammys you were absolutely bloody owed. Now, that happened before he was in the page, and I believe she's absolutely being like blackballed and spited in that way. But all I'm saying is that God did, and God can, and God will. But God knows that sometimes we have people around us that even we are blind to. On some John Cena, you can't see me. We can't see that the person sitting right next to us is not supposed to eat off the table that we will soon feast off of. And God will hold it back. Now, I had a karmic partner in my life, guys, so I'm not just saying this from like conjecture or from working with my clients. And as long as I was connected to that person, I did not grow. When I say the second, I mean the second. Within a matter of days after cutting that person off, everything in my life changed. I was offered like a commercial for something. I was offered a position on the Council of Advisors. I was offered like the things that happened to me literally within a matter of days from cutting off my karmic partner. I started to make more money than I had ever made. It is that poignant, especially when you're an empath or a spiritual being. And I believe that Nikki, as much as people say she lacks empathy, no, Nikki has empathy. Nikki has a heart. Nikki has a soul. But I believe that Nikki is spiritual too, because she can't not be to manifest the way that she does. She is spiritual. But I think she has lost sight. And also, this is going to be the fight of her life. I would never say, just leave your husband and the father of your kids that you were in love with. That's so hard to do. And that's why they've given her this test. To whom much is given, much is expected. Heavy is the head that wears a crown. She is the queen. And she is the generous queen, as she says. Generous to a fault, I do believe, especially when it comes to love. And Mr. Petty. And that is her great downfall. Mr. Petty is absolutely, without a doubt, unequivocally her karmic partner. I've chatted with some practitioner friends about it. I've chatted with just people, clients, whatever. It's kind of often a subject matter. And who are we? We are no panel that gets to make an absolute decision. But watch what happens if she ever does separate from him. And here's the thing that's so tough, right? Because do you want to put bad mouth on someone's marriage and relationship if that's the marriage and relationship they want? Here's what I pray and what I say when I'm looking at a situation that I'm like, that's not going to go in a good way. I say, for Nikki's highest good, may the best thing for Nikki and her son, specifically that baby precious son, highest good happen for her. May she find her power, her strength, and her backbone. And she will see her karma shift, though, if he is never not in the picture, because she is always having to swim just to float and to tread water in that connection, because his karmic weight is so heavy. And Nikki is so buoyant, but she is just working overtime with her little frame. I just see her with her little tiny petite self working overtime emotionally to try to get the stink off of the energy of a karmic partner. It may not be that big of a deal for you. Your karmic partner may not have the history that Mr. Petty does. Your karmic partner may not have done the things allegedly that he did. But what will happen is if someone is a karmic partner to you, it will start to become very expensive. It will start to take a toll on you emotionally. It will task you financially. You will lose money rapidly, or you'll never be able to make it, or bad luck will befall you and you'll be like, what the heck happened? I had the weirdest stuff happen for me the last year before I really cut off that karmic partner, and I was like, what is happening here? I was inheriting that person's karma. As empaths, I want you to think of yourself almost like a dialysis machine. And if you're not careful, you will take in all of the toxicity. You are the kidneys of the metaphysical world. You will clean all the energy of whoever is around you and then put it back into them, replenished anew. And they feel great, and they're filled with electrolytes, and they're hydrated, and everything's great, and their skin is plumper, and they are draining from you. Narcissists will siphon energy like that from you too, but not everybody's a narcissist. Sometimes people are karmic, and they could just be karmic to you. That's another thing. And another thing, even if you're here for the Nikki part, take a look at your life, because that's all celebrities are here to do. It's not just to gossip for fun, but it's to extract something that might be relevant or pertinent to you. Take a look at your life. Everyone's not a narcissist. Everyone doesn't have this kind of history that Mr. Petty does, again. But if you are around someone who is a toxic family member, lover, or friend, it will cost you something. They will siphon from you. They will level up off of your energy and then act like they don't understand what is reciprocity and then almost be indignant. That's another thing to pay attention to. A real red flag to know you're dealing with a karmic partner is they're indignant or entitled. Those two things are always super big red flags for me. But in the case, eventually, and they will be. They might be gracious and grateful at first, but, you know, it's not something that will last. And so what I will tell you is this. Pay attention, because every one of us has had this kind of thing happen where we are attached to someone and we're like, how come I can't get up to the next, and you won't be able to as long as they are adjacent to you. And the thing is, this is what I was going to say, they could just be karmic to you. I have had situations in my life where I know that if I were to cut someone off, or when I did cut them off, that they might even thrive in another direction or connection. But whatever I was supposed to be working on, ascending to, completing, succeeding at, did not have them involved. They were not supposed to be going in my direction. And so the universe, the powers that be, will allow them to be karmic to thee. Does that make sense? So not everyone's a villain. Sometimes I've cut people off and they have absolutely gone on and done their own thing. I don't know if they thrive, because I'm not a person that really pays attention to what's in my rear view. But what I know is that I didn't think that they were like the worst person. I was like, oh, they have great whatever potential, boyfriend potential, girlfriend potential, they'll be fine. But whatever was happening in my life, they were not aligned to be in mine, or they were not mine, and I maybe misunderstood, misread, or misjudged. Does that make sense, guys? So everyone is not the devil, absolutely. Maybe somewhere in the galaxy there is a perfect partner for Mr. Petty, but it wasn't Nicki Minaj technically. Now here's what I will say. You're like, how could that be so? Look at Papa Bear. That's where I will leave this here. They had an assignment. We often meet soulmates and we have an assignment to do with them. And the assignment is to do a special thing. And specifically, they were supposed to bring her fat, cheeked, chunky, adorable, who's not gonna be chunky forever, which is like, I'm like, Nikki, enjoy every minute of this adorable kid. But this, I mean, he's so adorable. He's so adorable. Like, she's so blessed. That's the thing. I'm like, Nikki, you're so blessed. Like, look at that beautiful baby you made, and that man made. That man that does unfortunately have some toxic karma around him. But the assignment was to bring Papa Bear in. And sometimes we will get lingering and lost on a soulmate. We will stay and overstay or welcome in a soulmate connection because it was good for a while, or we did make a magical human like Papa Bear, or whatever, right? You fill in the blank for your situation, but you're not supposed to be there infinitesimally. You're not supposed to be there for the rest of your life. It was a stop off, and that's why we have multiple soulmates. You're not supposed to be there forever and ever and ever. Amen. You're just supposed to be there to do the assignment and then move on and begin again. Now, I'm not here to say Nikki should that Nikki won't stay with this guy for the rest of her life or whatever the case may be. I am going to say that if by any chance she ever decides to not be with Mr. Petty, you will see a drastic change in her fortune and luck. Period. I will debate anybody about it in the comments because I really want the best for good sis. She is crazy talented. And that's the thing though. Free will is a thing. We get to choose who we love and who we let in. So be careful. If for nothing else, use it as a cautionary tale and look around you and see who might have a hidden, insidious karmic sail who wants to catch the wind under your wings so it takes them on to the finer things, because they will ride and go with you and then turn around and look at you. They will absolutely cuss you out and betray you and deny you, just like Peter did do to the Christ 3 times. I know not who he is, though I was trying to literally embody and live his life. These parables and stories exist for a reason, because humans are capable often and easily of this treason. People are crafty. Be careful. It's always the ones closest to you. You know, who is it? You never imagine it's those that are closest to you. I'm channeling Lauryn Hill. Yeah. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Specifically, she was referencing that passage in the Bible. Thank you, angels, for bringing that full circle to me. Forgive them, Father, off of her incredible album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. I think she actually references in that song Peter denying Christ. People will be in your life, siphon from your energy, eat from your table, benefit from your blessings, your beauty, your glory, your intellect, your handsomeness, whatever, you name it. Beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes. And then be indignant. Like, I never asked you to, but you benefited, didn't you? And that's what will happen with a karmic partner. And then you looking crazy like Boo Boo the Fool. Like, how did I end up here? What did I do? Why did I let them in? How did you get here? Nobody's supposed to be here. But the whole time your spirit team was not knocking. Just like the lady I was talking about who was like, why I should break up with this guy? He's a brokey. It's not about him being broke or not, guys. But it's about does someone spiritually equal and yoke you? Are you guys carrying the same yoke and burden, or will his yoke become your burden? That's what a yoke is. The yoke is, what do they say? My yoke is heavy and my burden is light. I don't know how that can be. But the yoke is the thing they place on the oxen in order to be like, okay, now carry, now go. Is the yoke of a partnership heavy for you? It might be lighter for someone else that they know, but for you, it's not right. So the universe will give you every single sign. God will drop everything in your lap. Everything will start to fall apart and mash up, as my grandmother used to say. It will mash up. It will be in the bad kind of way. And you will take a while to realize, oh, wait, this isn't about me. This is about the person that's attached to me, that's not equally yoked with me, that didn't earn this. A lot of times, karmic partnerships don't earn what you have walked through, empath. So forget about Nikki for a minute. Spiritually, you've done a lot of work. Maybe Nikki's done a lot of work. Not maybe, clearly to see, or she wouldn't be where she is. She's done a lot of work. Mr. Petty did not do that work. He just benefits by being Mr. Nicki Minaj. You know what I mean? That's exactly what will happen. And what we will want to do is grandfather in someone, because we don't want to be lonely. Guys, this is like the greatest curse for empaths. We're like, I'm tired of trekking the tundra by myself. It sucks. But then you might bring somebody in who will wreck up your shit. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Wreck shop in your whole life, of whatever you've built and whatever you've gotten right and whatever you've put time and integrity and energy into. Because it's nice and warm and cozy being up underneath you, but they are not integral to do the work that you're going to do. And even if they're not doing the work they're going to do, they're not integral to even tell you the full truth. What will happen with karmic partners is they will lie to you all the time about anything and everything. And they will lie to you because they want to keep you close and bring you in. So pay attention to who you have around you, because they literally can be your undoing. Nikki has thankfully and graciously signed up for this. I don't say thankfully, but she's signed signed up for this. This isn't a hard lesson because there's so many moving parts to it, but I have a feeling that she will rise again. She's ever the phoenix. Someday, it may take some time, she will abscond out of this, and maybe you'll come back to this video. Confirmation, that's an absolute yes. And you will see the lady with the blue and green hair who said this is the way that she might end up being. She might evolve out of Mr. Petty. We can only hope. It doesn't mean she'll evolve out of having a father for her child or any of that, but it means that she will grow. And that's one thing I will say about Nikki, is that she, even if it kills her, she grows. All right, guys, so good sharing energy with you. Let me know what you think below. Hate or not, I'm expecting anything when I open my mouth about one of the mothers and one of the queens. So anyway, so good sharing energy with you. Come back and join me next time, and we'll continue to evolve together.